In short, IPA is an arena-type game where you take control of an agent and fight other agents in order to win. The game is played on a 20 by 20 square-sized map, and each player gets an ASC where he or she can keep track of all the agent stuff, such as life and the 3 skills: precision, intellect, and strength. The game operates with turns and turn cycles. Every agent has its own turn. When all agents have had their turn, a turn cycle is done. After every turn cycle, every agent draws 1 item card, and until level 20, each agent also gets a skill point that can be freely distributed on either of the 3 skills mentioned before. And the level counter is moved to keep track of the current level. All agents start the game with 7 item cards, and after an agent's turn is done, he or she may not have more than 7 item cards on hand. Each turn your agent gets to move up to 5 squares. When measuring distance, you count the squares horizontally and vertically, never diagonally. Your agent also gets an action every turn. Action are, for instance, used when playing an item card. There are 6 different item card types: melee weapons, ranged weapons, space manipulations, artifacts, constructs, and rifts. Melee weapons, ranged weapons, and space manipulations can all be used multiple times and cost an action to use. Melee weapons deal a lot of damage, but you need to stand on one of the 8 surrounding squares of your target in order to hit it. Ranged weapons deal medium damage and are very stable. They have a maximum range they can shoot. For most space manipulations, you need to roll a dice to see how much damage you deal and if you hit yourself or your target. Space manipulations have no maximum range. The last 3 item cards can only be activated once. However, there are some real differences. Artifacts also cost an action to activate and are very powerful. Constructs do not cost an action to activate, but may have effects that need you to pay either an action or credits to use. Once a construct is activated, it stays activated for the remainder of the game or until it is destroyed. Rifts do not cost an action to activate either, and it is the only card type that can be played during the turn of the opponent. All item cards have 2 things in common. You need line of sight in order to hit the target, and activated cards cannot be sold. Just because you have a good card, it doesn't mean you can activate it, at least not yet. Many cards have certain skill requirements that an agent needs to meet. For example, you cannot activate the space manipulation electrocute if your agent does not have at least 5 intellect. The skill requirements are displayed under the picture of the item cards. Typically, ranged weapons need precision, space manipulations need intellect, and melee weapons need strength. The item cards in the game are not only the weapons of the game, but also the currency. In the top right hand corner of each card, a sell price is displayed. This is the amount of credits that you will get from selling the item cards in the space shop. When selling cards in the space shop, the credits must be used in the same turn as the cards are sold. There are 2 different types of goods accessible in the space shop: injections and field equipment. There are 8 types of injections. Injections give your agent a small boost once and only in the turn of purchase. As mentioned earlier, an agent gets 1 move phase in which he may move up to 5 squares. In the same turn, an agent also gets 1 action. It does not matter in which order the movement and the action is made, although you cannot split the movement phase into 2. There are 4 types of field equipment that are very different. Field equipment are physical objects that are placed on the map and in most cases even has its own life, which is displayed with a dice on the ASC. Field equipment is placed on one of the 8 squares surrounding your agent at the time of purchase. The space shop can be accessed at any time during your turn and does not cost an action to use. Field equipment can be upgraded through science points. also called SP. These are found through some item cards and in the events that are randomly placed at the beginning of the game. It costs an action to take an event. Unlike when you sell cards in the space shop, collecting SP or credits from the events can be saved for later use. Just place a dice on your ASC on the SP or credit symbol, displaying the amount you have at your disposal. When upgrading your field equipment, the upgrade works for all present and future field equipment of the type you have upgraded. Very important factor to remember is line of sight. When you want to hit anything in the game, you must have line of sight. The only thing that breaks line of sight are walls. These are placed in the beginning of the game. Another important thing to notice is the clear shot. Ranged weapons and sort of melee weapons need a clear shot to hit a target. You do not have a clear shot if another agent or a piece of field equipment stands between your agent and its target. Lastly, there is the defensive roll. To dodge an attack, you roll 2 six-sided dice. If you roll a 6 on either of the dice, you dodge the attack. If you roll a double 6, you not only avoid being hit, but you're also given an extra skill point, and the attacker is dealt 1 damage. If you roll a double 1, however, you are dealt 2 additional damage. It is possible to alter the game by playing with alternative rules. For example, playing with the rule fast game, less luck, which means you only get 1 dice on the defensive roll of your agent. You can alter the game speed as well as the luck factor. Also, be sure to check out some of the other game modes. Have fun!